Fastlane 2023 is not an exceptionally memorable pay-per-view, at least compared to the other ones we had, but most importantly, every single match delivered and we got quite a few interesting moments. What's funny though is that the highlight actually happened after the event. Man, Jay Uso was drunk as hell. Watching the press conference was the best decision I've made, and this whole vibe between Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso is exactly what I would like to see on television. Well, if they could pull that off without drinking. But people, that was the highlight of Fastlane. Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso winning the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship. This is the first time Jay Uso won a championship, tag team championship, without his brother. And like I've said in my predictions video, I don't necessarily want the Judgment Day to lose the championships, but I just felt like Jay and Cody winning the championships after everything they've been through is such a good story. Maybe it's a missed opportunity not to give the championships to Jay and Sammy. I think there's a big chance we might just see Cody and Jay versus Solo and Jimmy, and that sounds like an interesting dynamic to me. But people, welcome back to the channel and let's talk about WWE Fastlane 2023. The show starts in a big way. Cody Rhodes and Jay Uso versus the Judgment Day. The match was really good, but it's interesting. I'm not sure if this match should have opened the pay-per-view or closed the pay-per-view, because like I've said, I feel like this was the best moment of the night. But given how many tag team matches we had during the show, I guess WWE came up with the conclusion that this match should open the pay-per-view. Like I've said, the match was good. I really like this tag team between Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes. Rhea Ripley flirting with Jay Uso is hilarious. And you don't wanna be JD McDonald's Big Mac double cheeseburger para pa pa pa. My man screwed up when he accidentally hit Damian Priest. Super kick to Finn Bálor, a double team Cody cutter, Crossroads, and we have the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. This was a great moment, and like I've said, I think there's a lot of potential. It's also great because this means Cody can go to SmackDown and we can slowly start building Cody versus Roman Reigns again, which is also interesting because now we don't know who's actually drafted to SmackDown. Cody doesn't need to be drafted to SmackDown anymore, well, as long as he's a champion. And with Triple H being on SmackDown, we might just get these new WWE title designs. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I was always a big fan of these random ass main eventers in a tag team. And say what you will, the tag team championships, well, they have a lot of value nowadays. A long-ass championship title reign from the Usos, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens main eventing and winning the tag team championships, the Judgment Day getting the titles, and now Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes. Eventually, when a real tag team wins the championships, it's gonna feel like a big deal. So I'm happy these championships are getting so much love lately. The next match was the LWO versus the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Weird booking decision right here. So the match starts 2-on-3. I get why WWE did it, because now during the entire match you're wondering who's gonna show up. We all knew who, and maybe that's why WWE did it, to kinda, you know, mess with us a little bit. So as you can imagine, the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley for the majority of the match dominated the LWO. They took out Santos Escobar, leaving Rey Mysterio without anyone to tag in. You know what cool is? You know, people, I feel like it was a bad decision not to bring him back with the previous theme song just for this night because, you know, of the pop. But I've watched this moment a couple of times and this is actually a banger, man. This one slaps. So we see Carlito. My man is in a very good shape. After watching the scrum, you realize WWE brought back Carlito full time, so I feel like he's a great addition to the LWO. If he's a part of LWO, I'm not sure at this point. So of course the match took a turn. Carlito dominates. Big pop from the crowd. LWO and Carlito picked up the W in this one. Great moment. Happy for Carlito. One thing's for sure, WWE surprised me with the match results because I didn't predict everything right. It was time for the triple threat WWE Women's Championship match. The match was actually really entertaining. They took out Charlotte Flair the first thing in the match so they could focus on each other. Everything in the match that happened was right. Like, it was a really fast match, and you guys know one of my favorite match stipulations is a triple threat match. Always love these. For me, it was kind of tough to get excited about the match though, because I felt like the story was not necessarily bad. Every week they've been building, but unfortunately, as much as I like Io Sky, it feels like Bayley is the leader, Io Sky is a champion, and she's kind of being foolish a little bit, so it's hard to take her seriously as a champion. I still feel like this is the best version of Io Sky, and it needs to return as soon as possible. But maybe we're getting somewhere, because Bayley distracted the referee, Asuka was stepping out, Io Sky with the moonsault, and she pinned Charlotte Flair, which was the highlight of the match. This was a big deal. So now we just gotta wait for Bayley to turn on Io Sky, and we can get this darker version of Io Sky, if that makes any sense. And it was time for John Cena and LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, but first we see the return of Pat McAfee, who says that Indianapolis deserves a WrestleMania. Then he introduced us to John Cena. It's crazy, man. John Cena and LA Knight are standing in the same ring. People are chanting LA Knight, which is great. Again, if you watch the scrum, you know that John Cena is leaving WWE soon, because as soon as the strike ends, you know, in Hollywood, Cena is returning to Hollywood, which is unfortunate. But whoever booked this match did a great job, because for the majority of the match, Cena could not tag LA Knight. So first of all, props to John Cena. He wrestled quite a lot in this one, and like I've said, they did a great job, because for the majority of the match, people want that tag in. And it worked. Eventually, when John Cena tagged LA Knight, the place went nuts. After every single strike, people are chanting, yeah. So this was great. And again, I've watched the press conference, and LA Knight said he can't even enjoy it because he's stressed out, you know, because this happened so all of a sudden, and he's worried it's going to end, and this is really understandable, very relatable actually. And then Triple H said they're working on it. They're on LA Knight's side, and big things are coming for LA Knight, so this is great to see. This is the match that I predicted correctly, and I know where this is going, probably. John Cena and LA Knight won, and Jimmy Uso was the one who ate the pin, meaning Roman Reigns is probably not very happy about it. So that's the segment we're going to get with Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Maybe Roman Reigns was testing Jimmy Uso, and he's not in the Bloodline after all. The main event was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins, last man standing match, which I was surprised about, because I thought LA Knight and John Cena versus the Bloodline is going to be the main event, but it wasn't. I do feel like it's a great decision though. The World Heavyweight Championship, I don't feel like main evented a pay-per-view before, and the match was actually really good. For the most part, they didn't do anything groundbreaking, nothing new. It told a very similar story. It was exactly what we've always seen in a last man standing match. Heel dominates. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, you need a bad guy to be the ruthless one. You want the bad guy to cross that line. You see your hero taking so much damage, still getting up. It's just how it works in both movies and wrestling, I guess. But Shinsuke really pushed Seth Rollins to the limit. At some points, I felt like, okay, Shinsuke is actually winning the championship, especially after that missed spot where he landed on the announce table, which I felt was great. I was like, okay, there's no way he's standing up. This is such a perfect ending. No, he did, and I gotta say, I'm happy Seth Rollins won, by the way, but the ending was not as good as that spot. It was slightly underwhelming in my opinion, because I know it makes sense, but Seth Rollins took so much damage, and it only took a couple of bigger moves and Shinsuke is down. To be fair, he almost stood up. That's great, but Seth Rollins is still your World Heavyweight Champion, which I feel like is the right call, because we don't know if CM Punk is coming back, and it should be for the championship, you know the idea. But I'm happy Shinsuke almost got up, and I'm interested in where this is going. There are no championships that Shinsuke Nakamura could focus on right now, but I just really hope that his momentum is not gonna be destroyed. For a B-level pay-per-view, this is almost as good as you could get. I feel like it's still true. WWE pay-per-view live events are must-watch nowadays, and I'm happy that's the case. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe if you already didn't. The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.